Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fish Tank. Just a quick video today to go over the proposed balance changes that will be launching with the game version 2.0, which of course is coming on December the 12th. So let's have a quick look at the proposed changes. Remember, these are proposed, not necessarily final. So some will make it through, some won't, and some will end up being changed. Okay, so we got the Moun Shaper, which is the new master, and the Storm Tamer, which is the new card. We're not going to check those out today, but if you were involved in the PTR, you should have got a chance to look at those. Okay, Milow. So Milow's going to get a perk 2 buff. Her cooldown for her arcane missiles is going to go down from 25 to 22 seconds. I feel like Milow needs a buff, but I don't feel like this is necessarily what she needs. I'd like to see the golem get a little bit more range. Still can't hit air, I'm okay with that, but a little bit more range I would like. But that's not what's been proposed. Moun Shaper. So this card was kind of gutted when it was condensed from full arena width to just over a bridge width. Haven't really seen anyone playing it at all. Damage going up from 65 to 75. Remember, that's per charge, and it can have 10 charges. So fully charged Moun Shaper can be very powerful, but we'll see if that gets more play. Right, Net Blaster attack cooldown is going down, so it's going to attack more quickly. Definitely a card that needs a little bit of love, but a card with a very strong CC, crowd control, like immobilize ability. Got to be careful with that. If it gets too strong, it will just be disgusting. Magma Cannon, HP increase from 400 to 450. I'm not really thrilled at all of the building buffs we're seeing recently. We saw the Ghost Turret getting a buff previously. And you've got to be careful because we end up going back to building Masters, where we end up just having Stormbringer and all the spawner buildings and the rest of the buildings just to stifle everything, call to arms, and it's just really kind of boring to play against. And pretty damn strong. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. Frostberrybearer, the range going up from 8 to 10. So that's the trigger of the barrels on the back to give Glenn's Brew. I kind of like the Frostberrybearer, but it just doesn't feel right that it's a tank, but you can't tank with it because you don't want it to die first. I'd love it to have some kind of ability, some kind of trigger that when it dies, if it's got charges left, something happens with those. Right, Snap Freeze. Now does full damage even if the target is frozen. So this kind of makes sense. When they changed it to do immediate freeze, that meant that because freeze reduces damage incoming by 50%, that it only did half the damage. So now it doesn't do true damage, it just ignores frozen. So it will still be blocked by shields and things like that, but it will do its full damage. So it will be able to kill little scrats and stuff. Right, Harmful Souls. Harmful Souls, I don't like this. Damage up from 80 to 90, but that's per soul. So that's either 5 souls standard or 8 souls a Cursed Ascension buff. That's getting bonkers. That's 720 activated damage on a single target. It just seems too strong. And especially, I feel like if you're seeing Harmful Souls being played outside of a Cursed Dex, it suggests that it is too strong. Maybe it needs standard damage reducing. I don't know. But no, I don't like that. That's just getting out of control. And of course, you have the way to play around Harmful Souls to throw stuff down to tank the hits. But when it does so much damage, it's very difficult to avoid it just killing everything. Right, Nasus Breath. Not too surprised about this. Remember, it got kind of gutted previously where it had the Accursed Ascension damage doubler removed. So damage up to 175. That's just base damage across the entire game. Don't hate that. Probably see it more. Arcane Spheres. Not sure if this is needed. Damage up from 30 to 35. So that's going to affect things like Arcane Ring, which you see on a lot of cheesy Rammer builds. Don't really like that. But also you see the Arcane Spheres on the Spell Dancer and the Dormant Defenders. So a little buff for those. The Spell Dancer I would really like to see get... I don't think she has proper death prediction, so a lot of her activated ability is wasted. I'd like to see that improved. Right, Demon Warrior. So Demon Warrior got changed. Remember, went from 6 activations down to 4. only doubles the size, but she's received a few buffs since, and this is going to be another one. Got to be careful we don't get it buffed too much. So base HP going up to 350, and of course that doubles up to 700. So could be a sizable increase for Demon Warrior. Jezra, the increased cast speed for her Void Tear, always say that wrong. I like that because this is when you spawn the Elite Swarmers in front of her or the Cowardly Imps behind her. It feels so slow when you do it. I haven't tried this. I don't know how much better it's going to be, but it will be better. But they were like so slow before. There was just no way that you could use them reactively. You see a cleaver coming towards you. You can't tank that with the Elite Swarmer because it's going to take 10 minutes for the damn thing to spawn. Hopefully this improves that. I don't know if the 20% is going to be enough. Thelic, increase in HP from 600 to 650. Don't hate it, but I don't think that's really what Thelic needs. Thelic, the problem with Thelic is either you don't have a counter for his archers and it's disgusting, or you do and it's just irrelevant. So I would like to see some change to Thelic that makes that less coin flippy. Maybe less archers, spawn with a shield, maybe the archers spawn over time. I don't know. But just something that just stops them all immediately dying to a daggerfall, for example. Right, Swarmer Totem. We spoke about buildings getting buffed. Sorry, I didn't highlight it. Building Swarmer Totem duration going up from 30 to 36. So I assume that means it's going to spawn more things. So yeah, I don't like this. That's my concern as we get back to building masters. Arcane Barrage. Don't know if it needs a buff. This is just changing it from 3 mana plus 1 mana freeze to 2 mana plus 2 mana freeze. So still overall costs 4 mana, but you can use it when you only have 2 mana as opposed to 3. And Rimagal's Breath. This is kind of a little bit confusing because it's going to be a defensive spell, and the defensive spell refers to where you can place it. So that means you can place it anywhere in your arena up to, but not including, the bridge. But that makes sense, but then of course you have the other lane on the other side when Nivir comes back. So it's a defensive spell, but can still be used to remove things offensively. So it's a little bit confusing to understand, but basically the change means you cannot just spawn it directly on the bridge. Also, it means that you can't spawn. So remember, she breathes and then comes back and breathes again. And depending on how you play it, you can choose whether her first breath is on your side and then comes back on the opponent's, or on the opponent's first and comes back to you. That you won't be able to do that anymore. You will only be able to target it on your side. So I assume that on your side it's first. I'm not sure, but there's definitely a restriction there. Right, so those are the changes. Some of them we like, some of them we really don't like. But of course, a reminder, this is for Minion Masters 2.0, which is coming in December the 12th. That's the prologue. Everyone's going to be going on to 2.0, Steam and Xbox players. I do have a video just out recently showing you the updates and stuff for 2.0, so check that out if you want to see what's going on there. Of course, we've got the new master coming. We've got the Storm Tamer card, which is the new card. So there's going to be 1 new master and 1 new card launching with 2.0. And as again, if you watch my other video, you will know I've reminded you of this a lot. Everything is being transferred across from 1.0 to 2.0, except your decks. If you do not take action to back up your decks, you will lose them all. Screenshot them, /CD to copy them and paste them in a notepad. Whatever, just do something, otherwise you will lose your decks. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk to you about today. Minion Masters 2.0 PTR changes. We'll see when 2.0 launches which of these make it through based on the feedback that was from the PTR. And that's pretty much it. If you want to keep up to date with Minion Masters, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on the fish tank. Make sure to comment and like this video if you've enjoyed it and you've got any thoughts of your own. Always interested to hear from you. And as always, I'm bad as a fish, and I'm awkwardly waving.